It's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? From 7 Broadcast Plaza, this is Eyewitness News.
I would describe him as a go-to guy, the kind of guy that you would rely on when you needed somebody.
Comrades, family, and friends all mourning the loss tonight of a New York State trooper. Investigators still trying to piece together exactly what caused this accident today at Letchworth State Park. Good evening once again. I'm Keith Radford.
And I'm Joanna Pasceri, topping Eyewitness News at 11 tonight. The trooper killed in that training exercise, now identified as 44-year-old Ross Riley. The Gulf War veteran leaves behind a wife and 3 daughters tonight. Channel 7's Kendra Eaglin here with more on how this happened.
Good evening, Keith and Joanna. Trooper Riley was an experienced officer who worked in the Special Operations Unit for the past 13 years. This particular training exercise today took place at Wolf Creek, which is at the south end of the park, about 2 miles north of the Castile entrance. It's where the New York State Special Operations Response Team, or SORT, has trained for years.
They perform very dangerous jobs under a lot of stress. They work together all week long. They train hard together, and for them it really is like a family. SORT is the state police equivalent to a SWAT team, but today the close-knit 10-member unit never imagined they would spring into action to save one of their own during a high-angle rescue training operation where 44-year-old trooper Ross Riley plunged to his death. At around 11 a.m., Trooper Riley and 2 other team members rappelled 70 feet down the side of a cliff to a ledge. Their mission was to rescue a life-size dummy while the other troopers watched from above. But after the troopers loaded the dummy into the stretcher, something went wrong. As they prepared to lift the stretcher is when Trooper Riley apparently fell from the cliff. Riley, a husband and father of 3, fell 30 feet into the creek bed below. Officials say he should have been tethered but wasn't at the time of the fall. It appears he was not secured. Generally during the time that they're working on the ledge, they would be secured. Riley, a 17-year veteran of the department, former Marine, paramedic, and decorated officer, was taken to Wyoming County Community Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Now, Trooper Ross Riley's wife is also a state trooper. She is the station commander in Olean. His 3 daughters are ages 10, 8, and 3. Governor Cuomo releasing a statement tonight saying the fallen officers' contributions to the department will never be forgotten. State police say this is the first incident of its kind, and they are heading up an investigation to try and figure out why Trooper Riley was not tethered during that part of the training exercise. Joanna.
Kendra, thank you. The fan who fell 30 feet landing on another fan at Ralph Wilson Stadium on Sunday now facing charges. 28-year-old Robert Hopkins has been charged with 3rd-degree assault and reckless endangerment after sliding down a handrail and injuring a 29-year-old fan below. He will be arraigned on December 3rd in Orchard Park Town Court.
Meantime, Governor Cuomo is headed back to Buffalo again tomorrow for what is being called a major economic development announcement. Sources at the governor's office say that Governor Cuomo will announce a new investment from New York State. It's all part of the Buffalo Billion. His second in command was here in town today, adding to speculation now over whether or not Lieutenant Governor Robert Duffy is going to run for re-election with Governor Cuomo next year.
An election year coming up, people are making a lot of inferences. The governor and I have enjoyed a relationship, I think, almost second to none in terms of governors, lieutenant governors. My job is to be behind the scenes to support him, as I do.
Now, the governor's office has not released the specifics of the visit here locally tomorrow or where this big investment is headed. Keep it here on Eyewitness News. Tomorrow, we'll keep you posted.
It's been almost 3 weeks now since 21-year-old Thomas Dean died in his college dorm room. Friends and family of the SUNY Fredonia student are still left with questions about his death, but tonight they took time to remember his life. Channel 7's Jill Perkins in Chautauqua County tonight.
There are still many unanswered questions surrounding the death of 21-year-old Thomas Dean. He was a student, a senior English major here at SUNY Fredonia. He died unexpectedly earlier this month. Today, though, friends, family, and even faculty gathered in his memory.
I mean, it's still pretty much all we think about, but we're just trying to do the best we can in this situation.
It's been nearly 3 weeks since Katie Dean's brother, 21-year-old Thomas Dean, died. SUNY Fredonia officials say say it happened while he was playing video games in his dorm room in the early hours of November 2nd. And despite all the time that has passed, friends, family, and an entire college campus are still wondering why.
I want answers, but at the same time, if I have the answer, I'm wondering if it really is going to make me feel any better.
Without the answers, Thomas Dean's memory still lives on campus, friends, classmates, family, and faculty gathering to remember Tom, reminiscing.
I was able to see how much passion and dedication Tom pumped into the group, the Writers' Ring.
And even reading some of the English major and writer's original works.
If I should wake before I die, turn the kettle on, love, and I'll tell you everything.
Emotions filled the room as heavy hearts looked at photographs and recalled the young man's sense of humor and, most importantly, his talent.
As far as lost talent goes, there's an enormous amount of lost talent.
And while they wait for answers, a sense of peace, knowing that Tom touched so many people, even in the short life he lived.
He's like brutally honest because he's so passionate about it. Like, he didn't want to see people like not succeed.
Jill Perkins, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
A special meeting of the Buffalo School Board tonight, drawing a rare unanimous decision from board members. The board has voted now to hire attorneys from Hodgson Russ for President Barbara Nevergold, and she may need those attorneys. Board member Carl Palladino has now petitioned the state education commissioner to have her removed from office. Palladino claiming she was never even properly elected.
I do believe that Dr. Nevergold did not intentionally not run, but I also believe that she is illegally sitting in the seat right now, and for that she's entitled to legal representation.
The next school board meeting will not be held now until December because of the Thanksgiving holiday, so the board is going to wait on a decision now from the state education commissioner on this issue.
Tonight, a blind man needs help finding his guide dog in Niagara Falls. The nearly 3-year-old female yellow lab named Prudy escaped from a yard about 3:30 yesterday afternoon. The California-based group that trains these animals tells Eyewitness News Purdy is chipped. Purdy should be wearing a special tag that identifies her as a service dog. If you've seen her, please call Guide Dogs for the Blind. The number right there on your screen. It's 1-800-295-4050. Again, 1-800-295-4050, or call the local police department.
State police in Lockport say they caught Todd Biro and Sarah Fetterspiel allegedly shoplifting at the Walmart over the weekend. Troopers say they saw the duo sneaking through a number of departments in the store, grabbing merchandise, and then heading out through the fire exit. Both of the suspects in the Niagara County Jail tonight, being held on $5,000 bail.
97 Rock's DJ Jigster is about to start his first night of what will be, no doubt, an interesting week. He is sleeping in a trailer on Transit Road in Lancaster, collecting donations for Operation Rock Out Hunger. Channel 7's John Borsa is there with him tonight. Hi, John.
Joanna, good evening. Yeah, another holiday season is upon us, and that means time to help 97 Rock rock out hunger. They are collecting food here, especially turkeys, the next week. DJ Jigster, as you mentioned, inside of this tractor trailer. He will be here 24/7 for the next 7 days, collecting food and canned goods, other items for the Food Bank of Western New York. In just the first hour of 97 Rock's Rock Out Hunger campaign, 451 turkeys were donated.
We're looking to shatter last year's record, which was a lot of food.
$20,000 in cash donations and 20,000 pounds of food. DJ Jigster is spending the week sleeping in this tractor trailer to help beat that record.
1 minute you're cold, next minute you're tired, but to meet the people that want to help others out makes it all worthwhile.
People like Deborah Little, who used to depend on food banks to feed her family when she hit hard times.
So I made a promise to myself, when I get back on my feet, I am going to help the Food Bank of Western New York. So it started with the city mission, 1 turkey for 2 years, and then it went up to 15 turkeys.
12 years later, and she's paying it forward, raising money all year, donating hundreds of turkeys. Except this year, the $4,000 that she saved up was stolen from her home. Undeterred, Little is now asking local stores to help out.
And I'm just hoping that everyone who knows me, I don't care if it's a can, a turkey, a dollar, a penny, whatever, comes here.
We need everybody to come out, whether it's a turkey, a canned good, or a dollar.
There are 34,000 local families who depend on the food bank every month just to help put food on the table.
Well, the challenge right now is getting us through Thanksgiving, and that's where we really need the turkey and the trimmings. And then what we do is we focus on any of the excess product to help the families through the Christmas and the rest of the holiday season.
Food stamp benefits are being cut, so the average family of four is going to lose about $36 a month. That doesn't sound like much, but that's more than $400 every year. That means the Food Bank of Western New York is going to need even more help from you. You can drop off canned goods, turkeys, and even money right here as 97 Rock tries to rock out 100. They're in front of the Quaker Steak and Lube on Transit Road. We're live in Lancaster. John Borsa, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, good. Thanks, John. We're back in the studio once again. Again, it's called Rock Out Hunger, and here's our logo. It's the flying turkey playing a guitar. Each night, we're going to bring you the turkey total. So, the Jixter's only been out there just one day. He's going to be there for an entire week. So after one day, he has now collected, as of this moment, 511 turkeys. Again, he's on Transit Road, just a couple of blocks off of Main Street in front of the Quaker Steak and Lube. If you can, please stop by and make a donation. Joanna?
All right. Keith, thank you. The Niagara Falls Police Department mourning the loss tonight of one of its veteran officers, 47-year-old Officer William G., passing away yesterday while under hospice care at his home. G. served as a police officer for 12 years. A funeral will be held at noon this Saturday at St. Vincent de Paul Parish on Military Road.
Still to come on Eyewitness News tonight, a local hospital expanding its services to patients. We'll show you how.
Plus, a local nun approaches 50 years of service to the poor. Channel 7's Ed Riley has her amazing story next.
You're watching Eyewitness News with Keith Radford, Joanna Pasceri, Chief Meteorologist Aaron Minkowski, and Sports Director Jeff Russo.
Now here's another example of good things happening every day here in Western New York. For nearly 30 years, the Response to Love Center has been serving those in need here in Buffalo. The driving force behind the center is Sister Mary Jonas, a nun whose encounter with a woman many called a living saint inspired her to dedicate her life to helping those less fortunate. Here's Channel 7's Ed Riley.
The Response to Love Center was started back in 1985 by a Felician nun who had a desire to do something special for the poor on Buffalo's east side. Since then, this center has grown to become a major provider of services for the community and those in need. And the director, Sister Mary Jonas, says she can only attribute the success to one thing.
It's overwhelming and it's almost remarkable. But it's all faith.
The Response to Love Center is a building full of activity as volunteers and employees work to help Buffalo's poor. But how it became a thriving community resource is a journey in faith that started when Sister Mary Jonas joined the Felician Franciscan nuns at age 18 in 1964.
And my mother says, well, what are you going to do with your life? You're a junior in high school. I says, I'm going to be a nun. And she looked at me, she said, a nun? And I thought in my heart, a nun? Do I really want to do this?
The Felicians are a teaching order, and Sister Jonas spent many years working in local Catholic schools.
When you're young, you don't know, but God is there directing you very silently.
And dealing with poor students and the elderly deeply touched her heart.
Really seeing that people had needs.
Then came a moment that would change her life and the lives of many people in Buffalo. Sister Jonas met Mother Teresa of Calcutta when she was visiting the U.S.
And if I have permission to go to Calcutta, can I join your sisters to learn? And she said no. And I said no. And I was kind of saddened by that response. And she said, I want you to go back to the east side and find your own Calcutta.
She did, but without money or a plan, it was time to pray for direction.
If it's God's work, He's going to provide.
Using the closed St. Adalbert's School building on Kosciuszko Street, Sister Jonas first opened a shelter for refugees.
My pastor, Father Joe, says to me, a shelter? He said, do you know what that entails? I said, why not? I'm young, I can do this.
Then came plans to open a food pantry.
We had no refrigerators. We had nothing.
Donations were needed, and once again, it was time to pray for help.
This big truck came from the convention center and said, are you opening up a soup kitchen? I says, well, a food pantry. He says, well, we got all this food. We don't know what to do with it. We want to give it to you.
Through the years, the center expanded, offering a dining program with help from the food bank.
So what do we have today?
Opening a thrift store with clothing that families could afford on meager incomes.
And you got a pretty shirt.
And working with the Buffalo Public Schools to offer adult education classes for those needing computer job skills and learning how to speak English as a second language.
The last one we have right.
And though she laughs at suggestions that she is the Mother Teresa of Buffalo,
only in height,
you have to wonder, because even the day and location where she was born seemed to indicate the path her life would take.
I was born in 1946 on Lord Street, Beggar's Night. And when I think about it, how much begging I've done, over the course of years for this building.
Ed Riley, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Wonderful woman. And with the holidays just around the corner, the Response to Love Center still in need of donations. Turkeys and canned food needed for Thanksgiving, and the center is looking for donations of new toys to help poor families at Christmas. Are there good things happening in your neighborhood? Tell us about them. Send us an email to goodthings@wkvw.com.
All right, good. Thanks, Joanna. Mercy Hospital in Buffalo opened up a new dialysis center today, giving local patients a one-stop trip now for their care. More than $2 million pumped into the renovations at the hospital on Abbott Road, resulting in new procedure rooms now and new recovery areas and redesigned patient waiting rooms as well.
Now, the Business First Report. Here's Elizabeth Carey.
Nothing like winning an award just weeks after losing your job. That's what happened to Melody Baker. She was the assistant director at Bethel Head Start until her position was eliminated by the federal government during the sequester last month. Melody found herself unemployed as she was set to receive a Business First 40 Under 40 award. But this advocate for education is still determined to make a difference in the community. She's working on several projects in Buffalo to help educate at-risk youth, including plans to open a new charter school for inquiry in the year 2015.
It's going to add a lot of the resources that the children who live in the city of Buffalo that they need and that they may not have available to them. It offers another option. We're using the STEM approach, which is science, technology, engineering, math.
Baker says planners are still searching for a site for that school, and she's also working on plans to open a new early childhood center in Buffalo next year called First Step Kids. All that while searching for a new job and volunteering as well. With your Business First report, I'm Elizabeth Carey.
Now with Eyewitness Sports, here's Sports Director Jeff Russo.
All right, quarterback E.J. Manuel is heading to Virginia. Head coach Doug Marrone will spend time with his family, likely pet his dog. Yeah, the bye week break officially underway for the Buffalo Bills. The team hits the bye 4-7 coming off of Sunday's solid win over the New York Jets. The Bills spent the last couple of days going through meetings, doing some light work, and now players get the next 4 days off, a break until next Monday. It's a chance to rest and recover with eyes on trying to make a run over the final 5 games.
I think most part for the players, they're going home. They understand that it's just a bye. We explained it to them. It's not the end of the season, And the reason why is we want to make sure that they come back with the proper mindset and that they're ready to go. We talked to them about nutrition while they're away. We talked to them about lifting while they're away. We talked to them about conditioning while they're away.
When we get back, it's going to be all business, and we understand that we have to come back ready to play.
Yeah, we're going to get out of here recharged, and when we come back, ready to hit the ground running.
Maybe for the first time this season, the Bills expect to be fully healthy when they return. Practice resumes next Monday. Well, is this the year that Andre Reed finally gets the call from the Hall of Fame? The Bills' all-time leading receiver once again been named a semi-finalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Reed making the cut tonight from 126 nominees down to 25 modern-era semi-finalists. Reed, a 7-time finalist, but has yet to break down that door in Canton. Maybe this is the year. Next cut down to 15 finalists happens on on January 8th. Hockey, Sabres in Philadelphia tonight, where tomorrow they'll take on a Flyers team also struggling through the first part of the season. The Sabres sit dead last in the East. The Flyers 3 spots ahead in 13th. Another day of roster moves. Mikhail Grigorenko back in the NHL. Yesterday sent to Rochester, but the league blocked the forwards. 14-day conditioning assignment to the AHL. Ted Nolan says the team will now evaluate what's next. He'll either remain with the Sabres or head back to Quebec to play in juniors. The Sabres also added a pair of call-ups for the Amerks. Forward Luke Adam back in blue and gold. 18 points, 15 games this season. Defenseman Braden McNabb is also back. The Sabres once again in Philadelphia, where they'll take on the Flyers tomorrow night. Good to see Andre Reed back down as a semifinal.
Let's hope he gets it this time.
Maybe it'll be it.
7 is lucky.
We'll see.
We'll be right back.
Finally tonight, the Southtowns Christian Center wants your help once again in helping to feed the people in need this Thanksgiving. Every week, this center gives food to families who need a helping hand in the Southtowns, but lately they've been running out of holiday items, things like turkeys. You can find out how you can help. Just go to our website and click on News Links.
That's it for Eyewitness News at 11 tonight. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Jimmy Kimmel Live is coming up next.
Don't forget, you can follow us anytime on Facebook, on Twitter, and we're on the web at